In the second part of topic five, I'm going to very briefly talk about some methods that are used in cultural psychology research that you just don't find in other research areas. Situation sampling is a way to have people act as though they are in another culture. So they would give participants a set of scenarios, some from your culture, some from the others, and analyze the way that you respond to them. I've never personally used it, but it's got potential. Cultural priming is something that I have, in fact, used in various studies. In particular, work I did with Raul Gonzalez. I think, yeah, Raul Gonzalez. Raul and I did a variety of studies with cultural priming. The idea is, and again, I mentioned this in the previous topic, that the individualism collectivism thing is going to pop up in six. We're going to talk a big chunk about it, and it's going to just dominate the course from there on. Well, what happens in cultural priming is you can give people ideas that are more individualistic or more collectivistic. That is, there's a variety of different things you can do, manipulations. But one is you can give people a passage to read and say, okay, circle every pronoun that you find, and you can manipulate these passages so that they contain individualistic pronouns like I, my, me, and mine, or collectivistic pronouns we, us, our, and ours. And so the participants are going through these passages. They don't realize, they're just circling pronouns. They don't realize that they're circling only self-based pronouns or only group-based pronouns. Okay. And so then what this does is it puts people into a mindset, a thinking that is more individualistic or collectivistic. So in one of the studies, this is just, I mean, this is a snippet from that study with Raul. We gave participants a culture orientation scale, and that allows us to quantify, have a quantifiable measure of how individualistic and how collectivistic you are. Okay. And then what we did was we took participants and half of them, we gave them this collectivistic prime. And it was more than just these pronoun circling, but the collectivism prime would be the we, us, our, ours. And half of the participants were given an individualistic prime. And so they were, the I, my, me, mine. And then afterward, we measured their social discounting. And social discounting is kind of like how much you care about other people's outcomes. That, like, say, for example, how happy would you be if your best friend got $1,000? People that are individualistic are just like, I don't care. I didn't get $1,000. Why would I care? People that are collectivistic are more likely to say, yes, I do care about that. And so what we found was when we primed people with a collectivistic prime, then their social discounting reflected the original scores that they told us on the gender orientation scale. Okay, so it was a pretty interesting result that they would reflect in that way. Uh, and yeah, here was the outcome, and it's, what do you know, right? It's part of a much larger study. Collectivism can influence the way that social discounting occurs. And so by priming people with this collectivistic prime, they cared about others more. They showed more, yes, oh, my friend I'm so excited for my friend. It's at the core of empathy, right? It's a core of empathy. Do you, how do you feel when others are either, getting something joyful or sad? Do I feel that? And so it was quite a powerful thing that we could prime people to be more altruistic and caring of others. But when it comes to cultural differences, one of the most important things that we have to remember is that cultures come to us in what they call a package, okay? They package it. And so when we find a cultural difference, and we're going to do this in the last video, we're going to unpackage. in the United States, in the South, there's a culture of honor. Okay, and we're going to unpackage it. So we can say, well, there is a culture of honor, and in the South, they accept handguns and violence far more than they do in the North. And so what we'll have to do is kind of like, okay, that's true, but why? And kind of pull it apart. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Okay? And so we could do that in a variety of cases, but in this case, you find that music styles, that is, country music is more likely to have themes that involve resilience, whereas rock music is more likely to have themes that involve uniqueness. And you find that these different styles of music tend to be more popular in different parts of America.